we need to record. Oh, it is recording.
Yeah, you're recording, yeah.
Okay. I wanted that away.
Tell me why.
I don't know the words. And
Nothing but a heartache. Oh, every time I breathe in, I can't see.
My eyeballs are steaming.
Yes, okay.
Hey, it's Chris with Movies and Munchies. My special guest, my best friend, Ruben from the Ruby Tuesday is here, and we are talking about Your Monster. It's a new take on Beauty and the Beast, maybe. Or is it a tale of power and strength? Also, why is it getting zero marketing? After her life falls apart, soft-spoken Laura Franco finds her voice again when she meets a terrifying yet weirdly charming monster living in her closet.
Okay, so Your Monster definitely gives off the vibes of Beauty and the Beast, but it's a modern take on that. And I like what they do with it. It definitely gives you the vibes and feeling, but it's added theatrical feeling because there is a whole plot of a play that's going on inside that. But this film shines where it needs to in the claustrophobic house of Laura and her beast or monster. And that's where I wish it kind of stayed mostly, which it kind of does. I don't know if it does what it sets out to do with the themes that it sets out. Without the film, as it progresses through the film, you have these themes that goes, yes, we're about this. But unfortunately, at the end, it kind of undoes that. But we're going to talk about that.
I agree. Melissa Barrera stars in this, along with Tommy Dewey. Now, Melissa Barrera, she is lawyer. Laura, she's not a lawyer, she's Laura. But she's vulnerable. She's kind of her own antagonist in this too, which, I mean, that it sounds weird, but she is coming off of something, this circumstance that has her just destroyed, a little unconfident in herself. And then, though, she continuously places herself in situations that can be frustrating, especially when it comes to her own relationships. We watch her pine over this dude who is just clearly not good for her. And she continues to go back to that. I mean, the guy doesn't care about anybody but himself. We can see that as the audience. She can even see that in spots.
Yeah, there's a couple of tropes that the film falls into, which I think is on purpose. So we have this character that needs to grow, needs to be stronger for herself, stand up against the bullies in her life, or really just the toxic relationship in her life, or toxic relationships in her life. And we see her start to grow into that. So it's wonderful when there are moments in this film where she stands up, she speaks out for herself, and you're finally going, yes, do that. And that's the part of the character I think that we love. Yeah. That relationship that blooms out of her confrontations with the beast. She seems to grow stronger out of that. And I think that for me is the meat of the story. But like you were mentioning earlier, when she goes back to those tropes that the film just goes, yes, but remember this? Like, we thought she had learned.
Yeah. Yeah, she makes these steps forward and then walks herself back, each time falling into these same traps. And that works to a degree.
It does, yeah.
Because we want to watch her grow, and we can see little bits of growth as she becomes a little more confident and a little bit more just sure of herself and finding her own voice. But with all of that, she also then works 150% against what she's doing. She sets herself up for hurt within relationships. She chases after things that we know is going to hurt her. She knows going to hurt her. The story itself builds her to be sympathetic. I mean, she's got strength, she's got self-confidence, like I said. It works, especially when she meets her monster.
Yeah, played by Tom Dewey, who I actually hadn't heard of before. Like,
I watching him in the makeup, so he looks exactly like Ron Perlman did from the TV series Beauty and the Beast, right?
Yeah, he does, yeah.
But the voice, there was something about his voice that was so captivating. I mean, he's down to earth. He's very real and relatable. And I didn't know who he was.
I didn't know who he was, but I was captivated. There are humorous remarks from him that are laugh out loud, like genuinely funny. Then there are vicious moments of him as the beast, or just the monster, which are great for setting the lore, which incidentally doesn't do expositional dumping. It doesn't just say, here's a bunch of information that you need to know about the beast and its lore. None of that. It's all explored through what we see of his character on screen, which is beautiful. And what doubles down on that is when he's so good at his monologues, like Shakespeare. Ridiculously amazing and so poignant, and probably one of the best explanations of Shakespeare I've ever heard on screen.
Seriously. Yeah, it gives, like they should take this line from the movie and use it in every high school thing, because it really is going to help everybody understand what is they're reading. Because everybody's like, I'm sure light bulbs went, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. I liked that there is this realism to him, and yet he is still idealistic and he is fantastical, because he is very real and he is tangible and he is there, and we watch him interact and work with Melissa Barrera's character to find her voice, to emote, to find that strength.
He's often the one that is spurring her on or letting her know that what she's experiencing via another person is not okay. Giving her a voice to actually go, no, I'm not going to be dealing with this crap anymore. And when he growls, you kind of want to growl. You know, he's like a guttural, deep monster growl. And you're like, yes, this is exactly when the film is shining, is those moments with them two on screen.
There's even a point where he's edifying her own emotions. He's reiterating them. He's saying, it's okay to feel this way. You should feel this way. It's not okay with what you've been telling yourself how you should feel. And to stuff that down, or to a stereotypical female, right? You need to be quiet. You need to be subdued. You need to just smile. And it says in here, you don't have to do that. And I like that, because it's also, it's not preachy. It's not going after men. It's not,
no.
None of these things that rise in the zeitgeist.
I mean, really, regardless of the nasty people that are in her life, she's her own worst enemy.
Yes.
Because she needs to learn not to allow herself to be dragged through the mud in all of the various circumstances she places herself in. So much so that it's sometimes very on the nose. She's on stage in the theater and she is no longer doing the part that she needs to be doing. And she's in the background, and the director says to her, you're too much in the front, you need to stand even further back. Literally, physically saying, just in case you didn't get this, your worth is less than.
Yes.
And I think it's a powerful message. The problem is, when we get to the end of the movie, it undoes all of that.
Before we get there, though, this film doesn't know what it wants to be.
That's true. Yeah.
It was... after the movie ended, we all were talking, just Ruben, me, a couple of my kids, and just of, what did you think about it? Did you like it? Well, it was a lot. What does that mean? It was because, is it purely a romance? No. It's also not purely a drama. It's not purely a comedy. It only has a horrific moment within this. And so it was struggling to find its own identity of how it wants to play out the story, which then also was confusing emotionally, because I didn't know where the story was trying to end up, where it was trying to progress.
Yeah, I found it frustrating because where I wanted it to be, what I wanted it to be, it decided it wasn't. So even if the message is convoluted or broken at the end of what they've been establishing the whole way through, the thing that they could have lent into it which would have been an easy way to go about it, because they'd already established everything within the movie. They just went, no, we're going to do this. And but at the end of the day, it's a fun ride.
Yeah.
The beast and the relationship is excellent. There are comedy moments, great emotional moments.
Yeah. The singing.
Singing, we haven't even touched on the singing.
Oh my gosh. Raise your hand if you knew Melissa Barrera could sing.
No,
I didn't. Can she? Absolutely. There is this moment that she and Tommy Dewey do a duet, and it is stunning. I mean, his is played up a little bit more for comedy and screechy and a little bit of rock type of thing in there. But he's trying to draw her out. And when she starts to sing, it was electric.
It's such a powerful moment in the film. And I wish there was more. I came away going, kind of want to see the play that's going on within the movie.
Yes. Because when we see her other times when she's singing, we barely get it.
Yeah.
Just tiny little bits, or it's filled with absolute just non-confidence. You know, and so she's wavering, she's messing up, she's having to start over, all of these things. But in this moment, it's very vulnerable and quiet and just playful too. And whoa.
So, like, is it worth you going to the cinema to watch this? I think so, yes, because it's a fun ride. You just need to know going into this that it has an identity crisis. And so if you understand, you got to kind of stick to your guns of what you want the film to be, almost making that end choice for yourself, which is a bad thing to say about a movie, because when you get to the end of it and you're going, yes, but...
I think it was fun in the theater. It was fun to see, especially because we had zero clue going in of what this was. Yeah. Hadn't seen a trailer, hadn't seen any marketing. So there's that also. This is probably going to be like sneak in and out of your theater. It's 98 minutes. It's fairly short, and yet kind of feels long in spots because I didn't know where it was going. I couldn't tell, you know, again, what type of genre this wanted to be, where the story was actually trying to lead me. But like Ruben said, the ending, I have a massive problem with the ending. And while it didn't ruin everything that came before it as far as fun or engagement,
it does ruin character growth.
The film, it takes, we watch Barrera's character grow in strength, grow in confidence, just completely morph into a new, strong person. What we imagine that maybe she was at some point, even if she never was, now she is. And then the final scene in the movie cuts all of that out and turns her into a stereotypical female emotional character. And it undoes all of that, and it allows everybody else, especially the men in the audience of the play, of the film, any of this, to be like, oh, well, see, there you go, woman.
And worse than that, it almost gives credit to the enemies of the story.
Yeah. Like playing into you're everything we thought you were.
Exactly. But we've been building up the character to be one thing, and then we say, no, she doesn't have that anymore because why? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Actually.
There were several different ways the ending of the movie could have gone that would have been satisfying, that wouldn't have negated the growth that we saw within the character, that would have, just been weird and been okay. I mean, the end kind of leaves you like...
Yeah.
And if you're going just for shock and you don't pay attention to the message...
Yeah.
Fine. It works.
Sort of.
So, yeah.
Because the reason why I say it's, without going into spoilers, there's some lore that it's setting up, and we don't know whether that lore is accurate to what's going on within the story of the film, but literally the last couple of frames of the movie suggest it is. But even though they've just shown us it's not. So... Yeah, we could rant about it for a while, I think.
Well, the story progression, it is engaging. I was entirely enthralled by Barrera and Dewey's dynamic, including their timing and singing abilities. But the ending the film chooses to take removes the progress and strength that it had worked so hard to establish. There is some sex, no nudity, a bunch of profanity, and just a tiny little bit of violence. I give Your Monster 3 out of 5 couches. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies with the Ruby Tuesday. Thanks for couching with me. Why am I so tall?
I don't know. It's so weird. It doesn't feel like it's like that in real life. Yeah. But maybe you are that much taller than me.
Am I that much taller?
I think you are.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay.
What are you, 12 foot?
Maybe you're 3.
Yeah, I might go. Yeah.